based on what kind of gizmos they have rather than based on price, right? Now, if you look at medical procedures that are in a true market setting, where you don't have a bunch of government involved and third-party payers involved, like LASIK surgery and plastic surgery, you see prices coming down. The other thing you hear very often is, well, it's all that technology, you know, that valuable technology, that's increasing the cost of healthcare. Tell me, in all of the history of mankind, a situation where an improvement in technology increased costs. Seems like it's always only involved when the government is involved in funding something and in regulating something. Why is healthcare absolutely unique in that regard? Well, it's not. It's because there's a lot of technology and we tend to overuse it because nobody thinks they're paying for it. And you know, in Pittsburgh there are more MRI machines than in all of Canada. Now, Canada's kind of socialized and I'm pretty sure they have too few machines, but I'm kind of sure Pittsburgh has too many. All right, so instead of that's the equilibrium we're in today. Price has gone up a lot, output has only gone up a little bit, and to summarize that, of course we didn't all get there all at once, we got there over time. The data doesn't go back past 1960, so this data starts in 1960. And I always get this remark, the graph looks backward. Well, this is 1960, that up there is 2006. As the share of healthcare that's been paid out of pocket has fallen, the relative cost of healthcare has gone up in lockstep. This is a scatter plot, folks, if any of you know about statistics. It's a scatter plot. You wouldn't believe how I nearly swallowed my tongue when that first showed up when I was doing the Excel spreadsheet. What was that? And it's absolute, I mean, now I know correlation doesn't necessarily mean cause and effect, but gee. All right, big question. Will Barack Obama fix healthcare? Well, obviously, I'm going to argue, no, he's doing more of the same. We're talking about more regulation, we're talking about more insurance, we're talking about more of everything, more price controls, more of everything that got us where we are today in the first place. There's this big promise, electronic records, that's going to make the system more efficient and bring down costs. There'll be fewer errors and all that kind of stuff. Well, I don't have anything against electronic records, but I mean, realistically, is it going to change costs that much? I don't think so. Disease management and prevention. Going to bring down costs? Well, actually, if anything, it's going to lengthen people's lives. That means more people getting old and having cancers and Alzheimer's. So if anything, over a life cycle, it increases costs. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't save people's lives and everything. We shouldn't have preventive health care. But it's not going to finance. That isn't going to finance anything. Comparative effectiveness research. Y'all know what a peptic ulcer is? It's an ulcer in your stomach. Years ago when I was a kid, they treated those things, you know, you watch the doctor shows, and there's always some, you know, they come up with some drama involving an ulcer, and it always involves, you know, really major surgery. You cut people open, cut the ulcer out of their stomach. That was the ultimate treatment for a peptic ulcer years ago when I was a kid. Well, this Australian doctor got the idea that, you know, it looks like these ulcers are caused by bacteria, and he started treating people with antibiotics. It was complete medical heresy at the time. Today, most peptic ulcers are treated with antibiotics and cured with antibiotics. Now, suppose we'd had this comparative effectiveness research back in 1965, where they decide, the best treatment for peptic ulcers is lots of Pepto-Bismol and milk and reduce stress levels. If that doesn't work, we'll cut you wide open. We'd be frozen in time. That would be the accepted treatment by government regulation. I don't think that's a good thing. Regulate drug companies and insurance companies to reduce costs. Well, that's worked so well so far. Provide reinsurance. Well, now we get really to the bottom of this. Expanding insurance. That's really ultimately what the Obama plans and the Baucus bill and all that are all about. Require individual and employer insurance coverage. Yes, that would be mandated. There would be big taxes, big fines if you don't get insurance. Affordable, accessible health coverage for all, they say, and they go on to elaborate on this. They argue for guaranteed eligibility. Well, this is the idea that if you, it's sort of like if you get in a car wreck and you're right next to the Allstate building and you run in and you say, quick, sell me some insurance for my car wreck. Well, that's not how insurance is supposed to work. A national health insurance exchange, like markets really need any help. If the government, the federal government would just let insurance be sold across the country, we'd have a national insurance market. We don't need the government helping. Tax credits for families and small businesses. To do what? Buy insurance. Pay or play for large employers. To do what? Buy insurance. Universal coverage of children for insurance. Medical and S-chip expansion, another form of social insurance. This is a diagram of what some people say, well, you know, this is the Obama bill. This was H.R. 3200, and the Baucus bill isn't that much different. Now, somebody disingenuously tried to grab out, well, this is the current system. Isn't it scary? Well, yeah, I don't particularly defend the current system, but if you look carefully at that chart, there's a lot of disingenuous information on it. They double up on things and divide out things where you shouldn't, but to make it look extra scary. But the point is, the Obama plan would not replace this. It would be layered on top of it. Ooh, that's an improvement. Whenever the government comes along and promises to do something good for us, this is what it looks like. They promise you this wonderful, I should have put a Cadillac up here, but, you know, I'm not as impressed with Cadillacs as they used to be. But anyway, this is the British Bentley luxury car. Shiny, the best of all possible worlds is what they promise us. And what do we actually get? Well, something more like the East German Trabant, the communist car, two-cylinder air-cooled engine. I happened to be in Germany shortly after the Berlin Wall fell, and they were all driving. These East Germans were getting on the Autobahns and driving around in West Germany. They were always in the far right lane. That's the slow lane.
But they are more reliable than Seattle cars. That's what that is.
That might be true. Don't know about that for sure. But when I was in Germany not too long, several years ago, this guy, we asked him, this German on the eastern side, what do you do with your weekends? Fix Trabi.